So I often generate this type of nice illustrations for my app, and people have asked me how exactly I do that. And of course, you know that you can generate images like with AI, but the question is more about how to do it in a good quality. And the main way to do it is actually to have a good process. And I just want to share my process, how I do it. For example, recently we are rebranding Suabird, and here we have these three illustrations. And I personally don't like them. I think they are too childish. So my goal is actually to change them, to make them look more professional. And I will just show like the process of how exactly I did it to make sure that it actually looks good. The first thing is that, of course, I first just talked to Cloud and I gave the screenshot. And step one is actually getting the idea right, because generating the image actually takes lots of time. So that's why the better you get the idea and prompt correct, the less time you will actually spend on this. A lot of people just go directly to image generation and just write something and get something shitty. So basically, it gave me a few ideas for each item of illustrations that I need to generate. So I selected the ideas that I like, and of course then I asked it to just give me a detailed prompt, and it gives me a prompt that I can give to any image generation AI. But the main thing here is that I asked it also to actually make sure that the background is green. So I asked it in prompt. And the reason for that is that, for example, I'm going to use Google Flow to actually generate the illustrations, and Google Flow, the images cannot be generated with transparent background. If you're using ChatGPT, actually ChatGPT allows you to generate images without background, but Google or Gemini, like they don't have this thing. So that's why, for example, I asked it to generate green background, because it's much easier to remove a green background, especially because my mascot is mainly orange and black. So there's a high contrast between green and so on. Next step is actually pretty simple. So I'm using Google Flow, and the reason why I'm using this is because it's basically free. I have a pro subscription, but the cool thing is that whenever you're generating images, it uses 0 credits. So you can generate unlimited images. I don't know why they do it, but yeah, maybe it's a limited time offer. Who knows? And the thing is that here, the coolest part is that you can actually create projects. So for example, here I have multiple projects, and as you can see, I've been working here, and this is the latest project. And the first step is you need to add references of your mascot. I already had my mascot before, so that's why I can just add its references. If you don't have it yet, then of course first you need to generate the mascot so that you can generate it doing different things. For example, I have added here these 3 images, which I already had, this one and this one. And the next step is you can use them as ingredients. For example, I can just put them here, 1, 2, 3. And this means that now any image that I generate, they will be generated using these images as reference. And it's also important that when you ask Claude to generate prompts for you, you also tell it that keep in mind that we'll attach also my new mascot images for reference. So when it generates a prompt for you, it also includes in the prompt that same mascot proportions and style as reference. So basically, Gemini knows that, or Nana Banana knows that we should use the mascot reference from here. And after this, you can just, for example, you just copy the prompt, you add it here, and boom. And the coolest part is that you can actually ask it to generate multiple variations, like 1, 2, 3, 4, which makes it easier, because usually when you just ask it to generate one option, most likely it's bad. So I ask it to generate multiple so that I can choose the best one. Now, it already generated me some options, and as you can see, I did it like multiple times. And the coolest thing is that you can ask it for follow-up edits. For example, what I mean by that is, look at this image, look at this illustration. You see it has this black border lines around the mascot, which I don't want. So the same was here, for example, when generated this image, it had these black lines. And the cool thing is that you can actually just go and ask it to do changes to the specific image. You can also even drone it, you can select stuff, and which means that you can actually give instructions exactly what you want to be edited. And it got rid of the black line around the mascot. Now, once this is done, I need to remove the background. So for this, I'm actually using Canva, but just to show you some of the illustrations that is generated. First one, so this one I picked, I think it's a nice one, and then this one as well, and then I also picked this one. As you can see, all of them look actually exactly the same. They're in the same style, exactly the same in terms of the person, the character. It's almost the same character. Maybe a little difference, but I think most people won't really pay attention. And then in Canva, yes, I use Canva to remove backgrounds. You can use whatever else you use. And for example, just click on the image, and because the background is so obviously different, you just click remove background, and it does a very good job to get rid of the background. Boom, and there's the same here. And now I can use them anywhere in my app with a transparent background. So yeah, pretty simple process. That's it. How do I stop this? Hello? Brother, how do I stop this? What the